I was listening to Can't Catch Me Now by Olivia Rodrigo, and I started crying because I was thinking like it's from the dragon's POV. Like, just jobless. Absolutely need to get a LinkedIn profile.
Ine arli cridruchas separ corjulias.
Hi there. We're just gonna jump into it because I feel like every time I make a video, I started out with like a disclaimer for why I haven't posted in a while. Apparently, I'm never gonna have an upload schedule. I've come to terms with it. Like, I'm giving myself a little bit of a pat on the back, I guess, for putting out a video like once a year. If you watch my reading vlogs, you maybe think that I buy books every time I read them. Actually, no. I just make reading vlogs for the rare occasions when I have a physical copy of the book. I didn't know it was this big. So I thought I was gonna be able to read A Song of Ice and Fire, like the whole saga, and then read Fire and Blood before the season finale, but that's because I'm delusional. When I was watching the first season, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna read the books until the series is over, because the series is only gonna be like 4 or 5 seasons, I think. But then Twitter happened. I swear to God, people are not able to like fucking shut up about spoilers. And so I got spoiled a bunch of shit for this season, for the second season. And I was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna read the book, fuck it. And so that way I'm not scared every time I'm on Twitter that I'm gonna have something spoiled for me. Also, I'm stupid, right? Because I knew that this was the series where the dragons went extinct. Dany's dragons were the only ones left or something like that. But when I tell you, when I saw what happened to Maylis. Also, my sister told me her favorite character was Rhaenys. So when she said her favorite character was Rhaenys, I assumed she was gonna survive. Yeah, I know that the dragons are supposed to die, but I kind of forgot. Like, I'm at this weird spot where I just want to read it and get it over with and know what happens to each dragon so that I don't have to suffer every Sunday wondering which dragon is gonna meet their fate. Also, one more thing you should know about me before we get this video started is that I am not team green, I am not team black, I am team lesbians. I am team every woman in the show, actually.
Dead, all of them. Rhaenyra, bed. Alicent, bed. Helena, bed. Sorry, bed them all, shag them all.
I think we've established in this channel, at the very least, I support insane, deranged women who commit war crimes. Would I love to like run into a real life Shiv Roy? No, of course not. But do I kiss and worship the ground that she walks on? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely I do. If I see anyone shitting on my girls, I won't do anything actually, but just know your destination. So today we're just gonna clean, read, and study. And I'm just really excited because it's a rainy day apparently. So that's already a good start. Yo, like, my mom is so right. Like, this is embarrassing. I can't even study here.
His mother, Queen Alicent, beloved of the small folk, placed her own crown upon the head of her daughter, Helena. The mother knelt before the daughter, bowed her head and said, "My queen." A hasty coronation was held the next day. Prince Daemon Targaryen placed the old king's crown on the head of his wife.
You guys, I am so upset right now. The blood and cheese part. So back when the book came out, my sister read it like right away. And I remember she was reading it and I was in the room with her. And her mouth was like on the floor. And she was like, you need to read this part. I was listening to the audiobook just now. And when Hugh started talking about them, I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, right. I completely forgot that Sophie's choiced her. Like, I cannot believe that I could feel any worse for Helena. Why does she keep suffering? Like, she's done nothing wrong. I do wonder why the writers chose not to add that part as it happened in the book, because I mean, it's brutal, but Game of Thrones has never really cared about showing brutal stuff. I will say I forgot to read like the chapter that came before when I started. So I started on chapter 12, I think, and I should have read 11 as well. The part where they took Aemon's eye. I'm gonna get all the names mixed up, by the way. My sister's always like yelling at me for that. Their names are all the fucking same, like, I'm sorry. The next chapter, this is going like super fast, by the way. I thought it was gonna be way longer. I could finish this tomorrow, I think. Not today, because I have to study and I need to go to bed early because I've been going to bed at like 4 a.m. and waking up at like 2 p.m. for the past 3 weeks. Like, it's hell. I hate it. I don't want to be like this. Spoilers, by the way. Like I said, people on Twitter won't shut the fuck up on any social media, actually. So I've seen a few pictures of Helena and Rhaenyra where someone will tweet and be like, oh my god, the foreshadowing. I think it means like Helena's death has something to do with spikes and Rhaenyra's death has something to do with, I don't know if dragons in general or sea smoke specifically. And I do know that Rhaenyra winds up like kind of crazy and thinking everyone's against her or something like that. I'm not going on Twitter until Sunday, by the way.
So that was a fucking lie.
Because the new episode, it just leaked. So I'm, yeah, not doing that. Thank you. I'm fine. I am so fucking tired. I was gonna give you guys my thoughts. It's only been like one chapter, but I need to go to bed. We'll talk in the morning. I lied yesterday, by the way. I did end up going to bed at 4 a.m. again.
I'm shocked. This is shocking news.
So I woke up at like 11, made lunch. That lunch was exquisite, by the way. Not very aesthetically pleasing, but very, very tasty. So right now I'm about to start. That's a mother.
She has a family. She's a mother.
I'm sad because I know things aren't gonna go well for Rhaenyra, and I just really want her to be happy. I feel like Rhaenyra is a character that kind of has to have a tragic ending, kind of like Kendall from Succession. Like, there was no way that he was gonna get a happy ending, right?
Rhaenyra's quite Kendall.
If this wasn't like a Game of Thrones show, I would be hopeful. I can't mark this book because it's my sister's and it's driving me crazy, so I'm just gonna speed run through notes I had here and there. About Blood and Cheese, I was thinking about it again. My sister said that they didn't add Blood and Cheese to the show as it's on the books to the show because it was hard to achieve without traumatizing the child actors. And at the beginning I was like, bullshit. But then I was like, how often is it that Hollywood errs on the side of caution when it comes to child actors? So yeah, I'm not gonna fight them on that. Oh, the gay abandon? The gay abandon. You mean the Hightower ship? Okay, I'm not gonna make the joke because the joke writes itself. And then, fun fact, I want to know more about Dorne because I kind of love Dorne. And basically, they're the only reason why I'm reading the books in the first place. At some point here, they mentioned Dorne, and I was like, oh my god, we're going to Dorne. I'm gonna find out more about Dorne. And it was like half a paragraph. The prince from Dorne was like, yeah, we're not getting involved. Good luck. And I really, 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 really need George R.R. Martin to stop playing in my face. I don't think this is going to be a spoiler because it's probably going to be the season finale, actually. But just in case, spoiler warning for a future death. So last night, I read about Jace's death. I was thinking, oh, this guy's kind of taking too much space in this story right now. I hope it's not like Rhaenyra dies and he takes over and we have to follow him, because I have nothing against him really, but I just wasn't connecting with him as a protagonist. If he's gonna be the leader of Team Black, I'm just not interested in that. And I was like, I hope he dies. And then the next paragraph, he died. And I was kidding. I didn't mean that. I felt so bad. You know what's funny? It's like, I know that no one's really gonna win, and I know that this is the story in which the dragons are supposed to die, but every time a dragon dies, because of the way it's written and everything, and I'll get into that in a second, I just feel so fucking sad. Like the world is losing its magic. It's so dumb. But I'm really, really connecting with these dragons, and I'm so sad. Whoever the first Targaryens were decided to bond with dragons, I hate you. Because you should have just let the poor dragons alone and they would be fine. And now they're extinct. And also, I wanted to say, so much happened in the last chapter. The red and golden dragon, something like that. So much happened there. It was like a whole season. So I'm really interested in knowing how they're gonna adapt the rest of this. But I kind of love this. Like, I think I'm gonna go back to my roots and start reading fantasy again. Literary fiction is always gonna be my number one girl. I am hers and she's mine, but I am so invested in this, and I was like, I'm only 50 pages into A Song of Ice and Fire, and I'm also like so invested in that story, and I think I just need to go back to fantasy for a bit. I grew a little bit tired of it when there was like an invasion of YA fantasy. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first adult fantasy book I'm reading. Recommend me another saga that you can think of that you think I would like. Also, because this book is written like a historical document instead of like a normal story, I feel like a maester, you know? Like I'm reading an ancient scroll, but I'm really in my room in sweatpants, drinking coffee. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to say. Alicent and Rhaenyra, their characterization in the show is so good, because the book is written very like purposely as like a compilation of recollections from different men. So it's really interesting to see them being like, oh, she was so grief stricken, she like missed all of her small council meetings. And then in the show you see that no, she was actually preparing for war. I love thinking that that's how the story went, and this is how it was later told.
We shall not pretend to any understanding of the bonds between dragon and dragon rider. Wiser heads have pondered that mystery for centuries. Dragons are not horses to be ridden by any man who throws a saddle on their back.
Even in the books, her hair is precious. That's why her hair is so big. It's full of religious trauma. Oh my god. Oh, I was so scared. Fuck you, mushroom.
I never found you funny. I never found you entertaining. I never found you smart. I just found you annoying.
I was about to go to bed. And then the riot at King's Landing started. I was looking for the King's Landing riot scene from Game of Thrones. I think it was season 2. I accidentally clicked on a video. I didn't really watch the video, but there was fan art, and I think the fan art had like a dragon's head. So I think a dragon is gonna die. Very horrible death at the hands of wild people. The people of King's Landing are fucking insane. So I talked a lot about how like men in medieval times were psychopaths, but I feel like everyone would be a psychopath at that time, actually, now that I think about it. Like, what do you have to do if you can't even watch Succession in your free time? You just have to sit there and get syphilis? Like, I will say one thing about this shepherd. If I started spreading conspiracy theories like left and right for hours and hours and hours on end, and then I got the people all riled up and drunk, and then a riot happened, and then I was like, this is what I was talking about, I feel like that doesn't count, right? That's not a prophecy if you made it happen. Kind of like the conspiracy theorists who were talking about how they foretold that something like January 6th was gonna happen. It's like, no, you made it happen. What are you talking about? Okay, a lot of people died, and I'm sorry about them. Like, I'm thoughts and prayers.
Of course, yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
But I am really, really happy that no dragons died. A horrible death. I really thought they were gonna get torn apart. I'm going to bed now. That made me really, really happy. Good night.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
I didn't go to bed. I just kept playing Suki. And I was thinking, okay, like while I'm playing Suki, let me just play the next chapter. And I started listening and I could not stop. And then everything happened. And I was just lying there buying my fruity furniture and planting my crops when it dawned on me that falling in love with a character at this point is basically sentencing them to, maybe not to die, but to be miserable. I cannot have a favorite character. Not a single one of my favorite characters ever has a happy ending. And I'm not expecting them to have a happy ending. I know what saga this is, but like, maybe not be miserable. I ended up reading the chapter from like the aftermath, the Hour of the Wolf, I think. And I really liked it. I really haven't met a Stark I didn't like. And I'm not a usual fantasy reader, so I'm maybe not the best judge of that genre, but I really liked it and I had fun. That's a weird way of putting it. I didn't have fun. I only cried like once. So usually when I do like book reviews, I've made one, but on the other one, I judged the character specifically. But it is really hard to do that here because obviously it's written as if it were like a retelling of history. It's a very good choice for an adaptation because you get the essence of the character, but then it gives you a lot of freedom to kind of go from there and expand on this world.
I'm straight. You're mad. You're jealous.
I definitely think that in the book, she's a bit more ambitious for the throne specifically. I am interested in where she goes from here. Maybe she'll grow more ambitious now that she's kind of purposeless. It's been shown to her that her role really never carried that much weight. She was never really respected. And so I am really excited to see if she's gonna go full tyrant or if they're gonna make her like more vulnerable. Because in the book, we don't really spend a lot of time with Alicent. So I'm really curious to see where the show's gonna take her.
Fuck the patriarchy!
If you've read the books or know a little bit about Targaryen lore in general, I don't know much about them, but from the little I know, they're aware of the fact that they have a bond with dragon, that they're descendants of the Conqueror, they're the blood of old Valyria and all of that. They have a little bit of a god complex, all of them, but I think seeing that and how it's going to develop in Rhaenyra, knowing Aegon's prophecy and a few things that happen in the book, getting Targaryen bastards to ride these dragons as a sign of the gods, I'm really interested in seeing her kind of become a cult leader.
Let me in! Let me in!
One thing that we do get from the book is that she was grief-stricken and that at some point she starts kind of losing her mind and she becomes really isolated. Septon Eustace says that treachery no longer had the power to surprise her. She had come to expect it even from those she loved the most. I feel so bad for my baby. Like, I need them to leave her alone and give her throne back. They hate to see a dragon-riding girl boss, male wife, thrive. Can we even call it thrive if she wanted to get like a throne that is basically a curse?
Now guess where you going? To jail.
I also have like a deep-seated hatred for Daemon now, even more so than before. Like, by the way, I have no problem with you loving like awful people. I understand that. This is Game of Thrones. Everyone in this saga is just not seeing heaven, and we know that, and that's fine. But my problem is when fans start deciding that whenever a character does something they don't like or that makes them very visibly bad people, that it's suddenly out of character when it's completely not. I remember when the show came out and they characterized Daemon as basically a pedophile because that's what he is. Everyone on Twitter was like upset. Everyone was like, that's not what he's like. That's not him, whatever. And I'm reading the book and there's like a paragraph where they specifically mention it. What book did you read then? Are we gonna start acting like AO3 fanfics are canon now? Like, is that what we're at?
You try your best, but you don't succeed. You get what you want, but not what you need.
Then when it comes to the kids, for a lot of like male characters, it's not even that I don't like them. It's not even that like I necessarily spite them. It's just that like it's a war.
People are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like inevitable.
I really need Aegon and Aemon to die, but like a slow death. But I want their dragons to be fine, which I know is not gonna happen. But you know, a girl can dream. But Helena's different. She can't help it. She's autistic.
She's autistic. She can't help it.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
As for Hugh and Ulf, I'm so upset. Like, I genuinely kind of love them. When I saw them claim their dragons and the way that they claimed their dragons, I kind of loved him. I wanted to see him thrive. I wanted to see him... Hugh seemed kind of expendable, so I expected him to die, but I was like, okay, give him like an honorable death or whatever. And now I'm like, I kind of want them to get stomped by a dragon, torn apart by a mob, fall off their dragons and live the rest of their lives in never-ending pain. Like, choose your fighter, you know? I kind of want to see them suffer. They didn't suffer enough for me in the books. I am interested in seeing where the show's gonna take them, because they didn't, like, so far they've been completely likable, even lovable, I would say. Another thing that I'm excited to see happen in the show, I'm not excited obviously because of what happens, but I am excited to see how they draw a parallel between, now that I know what the people of King's Landing are capable of, I wouldn't even call the Queen of the Fishes thing a riot. Like, that was a friendly protest. But I am interested in seeing them draw parallels between Queen of the Fishes and the Shepherds riot. Another thing, I feel like the Dornish should kind of like hire the squirrel from Ice Age and then break the continent in two and let them drift away. Maybe the Starks too. I feel like the Starks and the Dornish should like start a new continent, because I'm tired. I'm tired of them being the only ones that make any sense ever and being punished for it. And the kid from the House of Kisses, okay, welcome back Princess Diana. Like, I would have served this prince. And then they mentioned that his stepmom, or the mother that stepped up, was a Dornish woman, and I was like, that fucking makes sense, of course. As for Rhaenyra, my beloveds, I really wanted them to have like a one scene together in the end. I didn't need them to kiss. I'm not stupid. I know how this is gonna end, but I wanted them to kind of see each other again. But I'm sure we'll get that in the show. Like, the show has made it very clear that it puts a lot of weight on Alicent and Rhaenyra's story, and I'm very much looking forward to it. We've reached the end of the Dance of the Dragons. Let me know down below what your thoughts are, what your thoughts on the season finale were. I'm a woman of the people, and by woman of the people I mean I love reading think pieces on people's favorite characters or on their most hated characters. Everything that you think no one cares about when you post it on your social media, I'm probably the one nosy bitch in your notifications liking it, because that's just the kind of person I am. Once again, I'm filming an outro for a reading vlog days after I actually finished filming it and editing it. But I just keep on forgetting to film outros for my reading vlogs. I don't know why. So anyways, now it's actually been around a month, August 4th. Exactly 1 month since the season finale of House of the Dragon premiered. I was gonna add my episode reaction here at the end of the reading vlog, but then it ended up being like 30 minutes, which is way too much for a reading vlog. No one's gonna click on that. I wouldn't click on that. So the episode reaction is gonna be unlisted, and you can watch it by clicking the link in the description. Also, I haven't read it yet, but George R.R. Martin just posted a vlog entry about the season finale, and I'm just really happy because apparently he didn't say anything bad about Rhaenyra. He just talked about Mailer, which is so funny, by the way. And I do agree on a lot of people's criticisms of season 2, except for Rhaenyra. I don't think Rhaenyra was bad. I do think maybe having them meet twice during the season was a little bit unrealistic, but I do think it served a purpose because I don't think they're going to meet for a while now. I am giving them the benefit of the doubt. I am willing to wait until season 3, but I did also give D&D the benefit of the doubt after season 5, so I may be erring on the side of the opposite of caution here. I will keep reading the book, by the way. Right now I'm reading These Ravenous Fate. When I'm done with this one, I'm gonna go back to Fire and Blood, and I'll let y'all know how I feel about that one in my wrap up. But I don't think it's gonna get worse. I think it's probably just gonna get better, and I already love it. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Have a good day, night, whenever you're watching this, and always remember to follow Zendaya's advice. That's right, we're changing up the outro.
Don't forget to smile.